We wanted to make the night into something that combined both elements of like good music, entertainment and seeing some art and socialising and discussing art. And it was, I suppose, sort of a meeting point for creative people in the area that was missing.
I think it was quite strange because we'd actually not met as the five of us in one group before, so it was, the first meeting was kind of like, here's everyone, this is what we want to do, let's try and do something interesting.
I think there was a desire to do something a bit bigger, a bit more serious, a bit more interesting and a bit more sort of stimulating for us to do, rather than just doing sort of another club night, the same as sort of any other club night really.
In terms of the area of South London, it's those two colleges and the people around them, Camberwell and Goldsmiths, and that area that have sort of been our starting point, I suppose. And that's the sort of South London that we know. And there's space as well. There are spaces that artists can, do things with.
And the same with this building, the Woodmill as well. It was meant to be up for 2 years, but then suddenly it's only up for a year and it's gone in 4 months. But what actually happens in that time is important, and we've reflected that in sort of a lot of our practice. Is always, it's intangible, it's made, and with the club nights the artwork is made, it's up for 3 hours sometimes and then it's taken down.
In terms of what we've been doing over the last 3 years, I guess Corsica Studios has had a huge role to play in that, and and also the guys that run Corsica Studios were sort of instrumental in helping us get started. We were saying, we want to drill into the floor in your second room. We were sort of asking a lot from them, and they were incredible and helpful in helping us getting us off the ground.
I suppose we first met Off Modern about 3 years ago. They'd have a room where they'd show some art, and there'd be bands and there'd be DJs, and it was the format that we were really wanting to promote here, because there was so much room to do that what they were proposing made it different from any other club night.
From the very first events really, Off Modern were always kind of quite ambitious in terms of putting installations in and kind of cross-pollinating the rooms and different art forms, and just bringing a whole lot to the table really.
Adrian's really into his music and his sound system, and has built up a great club, and Amanda has that heavy interest in the arts, and I think the balance is sort of very similar to our outlook.
You want to live in an area with cheap rent, and South East London definitely has that compared to any other area, so I think the creative community is perhaps drawn to Peckham, Camberwell, New Cross.
Tonight we're doing this event with Tiger at Sun Gallery, and it's in a gallery space running a party essentially, but with artists commissioned in the space, so it's a mixture of arts event and party. So yeah, we're just transforming a white box into something that's going to be quite exciting.
Yeah, it's a really sort of hidden gem off Peckham Rye, which sort of not many people probably know about. So it's quite exciting for us to be working with a space that is a little bit more underground, I guess.
I think for this particular project we were keen to keep it really local and quite intimate, and in a space which is actually totally different to the space at Corsica. So in Corsica it's a club space that we put art in, and this is actually an art space that we're putting music into and performance into. So we've kind of flipped what we usually do on our head to hopefully have a good party.
That's a piece of new video work by Dan Swan.
And he's done stuff with MIA and like various other exciting people.
This is the light box which we really basically built the other day as well.
It's going to hang above the door, but
it's so badly built that it's not going to...
Yeah, it's so boxed together that it would just collapse and brain somebody. This is Naveen's work up here.
Coming from this projector.
This is Hounds of Hate setting up. And with our bank of TV walls. Henry's sculpture is actually up there, the one that was outside. the real articles spinning around up there. And it's sort of like closed off, so you can't quite see it properly. You have to look at it out there to see it.
The sculpture is installed on the top level of the gallery where there's no access to it. And all you can see as you walk in on the ground floor is just this kind of chain hanging down. And I think in a space like this where there's a lot going on, it's quite a challenge to engage with something sculpturally that isn't just kind of just going to sit there, basically. I feel really fortunate to have been able to kind of explore South London and make this our home, and I can't imagine living anywhere else at the moment.